I don't want to attract the viewers who are looking for toxic entertainment. I'm interested in conversations, connections with people who are looking for growth, who are looking for lessons to draw from a certain situation, and basically who are open to radical honesty and radical responsibility.
Welcome.
I like drama. I like drama not because I want to point fingers at bad people and make fun of them just to feel a little bit better about myself. I like drama as a learning opportunity. I like to analyze the situation, get deep into the truth, and realize who was in the wrong, who was able to take responsibility, who's trying to avoid accountability, maybe ask some good questions like what could be done differently, what can I take away from this? And that, I think, is really a great learning opportunity. Myself, of course, I don't want to be in the wrong, but I also understand that I'm just a human being and I make mistakes. And I want to focus and cultivate the mindset of allowing myself to make mistakes, be gentle with myself, and basically recover efficiently, take responsibility, learn, and move forward. It really is as simple as that. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it is very simple. And last night, just before my flight, I have downloaded Sam's video about something nefarious about Hamza Ahmed, and I listened to it during my flight. And I didn't know the word nefarious, so that's already a lesson I was able to learn. But on a serious note, every conflict, every drama that I am observing, that I'm analyzing, it is an opportunity to refresh and practice my procedure to address conflicts. And other than, it is also an entertainment. Let's be honest. It feels good. It's like sometimes it's called a guilty pleasure, but it's definitely a pleasure. It's like, it creates emotions and it feels good. And it also contains a potential to learn. And it is my priority because I can clearly see that when I keep refreshing and when I keep practicing my procedure to address conflicts, then whenever some conflict arises in my personal life, I feel so prepared. I feel so competent to, like, I'm not afraid of conflicts. I am not trying to make one, but when it is coming, I put a welcome mat in front of my door because I know how to handle that. And I'm not saying that in a way that I like to winning my conflicts and I want to be right and I want to win. Quite the opposite. Usually, or very often at least, the right attitude is not to engage in a conflict. Like, it is also worth asking why do I want to engage in a conflict? And usually, when there is a reason to engage in a conflict, it means that it affects my close people and I want to either defend us from some danger, but usually it's inside the group that is very important for me. And usually it's because I feel responsibility to protect the team, to protect the relationship, to protect the group. And if that is the case, then my intention is not really to win the conflict, is to address it in a way that we will be stronger in the future and we will feel heard, we will feel seen, we will feel understood, and we will try to find the best solution for the particular group. And so asking myself this sort of questions like, what can I do better? what was the mistake in this or that case, is actually helping me to cultivate that skill. And so I've listened to the video, and I think it's a really good video.
I didn't attack him. I didn't retaliate. I didn't talk shit about his business model or anything like that, even though he did to me. Even when he tried to destroy my reputation and take food off my plate.
Oh shit, it was all about money.
But now, enough. Let me ask you something. Why do you think Hamza stands in front of the frame here? He'd been watching me film Jack talking to a girl for the last 3 minutes. I remember, because I was recording for so long that I had to like place my hands on my chest because it was just getting like, tiring. Hamza saw me recording Jack talking to a girl. Why does Hamza stand directly in the middle of the frame to block Jack? Could it be that he felt deeply insecure about seeing his old employee recording the new guy?
But the thing is, like, you follow the story on Sam's video, but what is important here is, like, for me at least, my personal attitude is, like, I never want, even though there is clearly some sort of sympathy that I have towards Sam and less of a sympathy towards Hamza, but I want to refresh the procedure, like how to address a conflict like that. So first that comes to my mind is that there is a lot of things we don't know. I don't know, especially like I'm not inside. And even if I was inside, there would be still a lot of things I wouldn't know. And that makes me more humble in terms of understanding the situation. There's always some part of the picture that is unavailable to me. Do not be so convinced that I am right, And that humility is actually something that makes me stronger and peaceful in the long term. So that's something I want to point to. There's always things I don't fully understand. Even if it's like a conflict with a close person, there is some part of their perspective that I may be missing. Number two is that usually, almost always, it's not like one person is fully right and didn't make mistakes, and the other person is fully wrong and all they did was mistakes, That's usually not the case. And I think to see the gray area is also very important. And, if we remember that my goal is not to, it's like I'm not watching the game and I'm supporting my team, unless I am, but I'm not in that case. The value is a number of lessons I can draw from that, and not like deciding who is wrong and who is right. Even though sometimes it's quite obvious, But clearly mistakes and be in the wrong is one thing. And another thing is ability to take responsibility and understanding a lot of nuances inside this process. So, for example, it basically even something as simple as that it is easier to take responsibility if you have less to lose. That's so obvious. And so I feel sorry for Hamza because he's in a very difficult position right now. That it's much more difficult for him to take responsibility for that situation, because it's not like he made a mistake and he made one mistake and, oh yeah, sorry, I made a mistake and I take responsibility. It's much harder because basically what the situation is showing that he was a terrible human being, especially in the personal relationship. He was quite dishonest towards his viewers, And I can see he's avoiding accountability by, presenting certain narrative and certain tricks, like don't comment here, comment in some post that is less visible to people. Oh, I can see the game you're playing, but at the same time, on a human level, I feel sorry because I understand it's difficult. It's not a comfortable position. That's for sure. So even in that point, I want to observe that there is a time and there is a space for basic human empathy that, like, I don't trust him. I wouldn't want to be involved with him with about anything. But at the same time, I honestly feel sorry for him. I'm asking myself if these were not some YouTubers that I don't really follow that much, but like people from my closest circle, like how I would like to approach the situation, how I would address them. And, I think it's very important for me to observe that I wouldn't want to be engaging. And I had kind of somewhat similar situation a while ago. And I don't want to be showing the attitude of blaming, basically. Like, I hate blame. I hate that, the conversation full of blame, like who is bad, who is good, I am good, you are bad, and so on. I think it's counterproductive, and I think it creates a lot of suffering for the author of that narrative. So I don't want to blame like, oh, you did this. I don't want to point fingers. I said that in the very first sentence, I think, of that video. I don't want to point fingers. I want to express how I feel about actions of a person. Is it my friend? Is it someone from my family? And like, what you did, I didn't like. It's not close to me. It doesn't resonate with me. Whatever they did, I want to say what I think about it, how I feel about it, and basically the most important thing is setting the boundaries. Like, because of what you did, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. But I wish you all the best. I wish you think about it, you'll learn your lessons, and be a better human being in the future. No hard feelings, but I don't want to be part of it. If it's not that bad, then perhaps, and there is a room for improvement, I would want to address it in a way that, what you did, I didn't like. This was something I don't like. This was something I don't like. And, if you value our friendship, if you value our relationship, there is no space for that, And I want to find out. I want to ask this person, do you want to change? Do you see the problem or not? If yes, maybe we can work together. Maybe we can move forward together and be stronger in the future. But if not, then, I did all I could to help this person, And so I think honest, precise communication about the matter is something that I can also learn and refresh during that case study. Like I said, it is important to be aware of what my goal is during my engagement in a story. Like, for example, now commenting this stuff, I don't want to be a kind of commentary. I know my position. I know I'm extremely small YouTuber, especially on the English language, that it's not my first language. Haven't you noticed? And I understand my position, and I'm not even trying to be a commentary channel who is like, look at this, what happened, oh, they did terrible things, they should be blamed for that, and I don't want to attract the viewers who are looking for this sort of toxic entertainment. I'm interested in conversations. I am interested in connections with people who are looking for growth, who are looking for lessons to draw from a certain situation, and basically who are open to radical honesty and radical responsibility, that if I'm in this position, I understand the difficulty of that position and I want to do something good. I don't want to make a mistake, but if I do make a mistake, I want to take responsibility. And creating that mindset and cultivating that mindset is the most important thing in my life, basically. Accepting the reality, not rationalizing things that I don't like, basically accepting everything as it happened. Yesterday I talked with my wife about something that I am kind of ashamed of, 15, 20 years ago, but I did that. And, I don't want to rationalize, oh, this is something, blah, 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 blah. There's always excuses to be found, but I don't want to go this way. radical responsibility is something I want to cultivate. And I can clearly see in that situation who is presenting more responsibility, accountability, who is more honest. And I'm only saying that to learn from the good and learn from the bad, like I said, I don't have any bad emotions, any negative emotions, So there is always many lessons that can be learned from a case study, and the most important thing is the intention. Why I want to engage in a certain story. I'll just keep it short because that was just a random stream of consciousness, stream of thoughts, and I don't want to keep it too long. Like I said, I'll be very open to engage in a discussion. Maybe you can share what you think about the matter. And I think asking precise questions is the right way to go. That's where the potential for learning lies, So I'll keep it short. I just wanted to share a few points that randomly popped up. And yeah, I'll continue my journey here. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and all the best to you.